Welcome back to Curious Thoughts, episode 2, Hooked on Acquisitions, How I Found My Path. Have you ever been in a moment of reflection when you wondered if you were on the right path? There was something better out there, something meaningful, impactful, fulfilling. For years, I searched for that exact answer, and eventually, I found it. In today's episode, I'll take you through the pivotal moment that changed everything for me, how I discovered acquisitions, why it became my obsession, and the initial steps that I've taken to pursue this path. If you're curious about where to start or what drives someone like me, stay tuned. For years, I've had this drive to be a creator, whether it was woodworking projects for my family, or brainstorming ways to solve big problems in the world. One of the ideas I was most proud of was developing a method to keep vaccines cool in remote areas. I realized this was a serious issue. One day, while I was waiting in line at an airport, going somewhere else, I was pondering my life, how I could build something meaningful, to make a difference and also create wealth. And that's when it hit me. Vaccines in remote areas, whether in Australia, Africa, or elsewhere, often spoil because they can't stay cool. I got so curious and started brainstorming ways to solve this using solar energy, wind power, and bike-based delivery systems. I explored materials, shapes, and designs that could work in remote, harsh environments. I was so excited about the potential of this idea. But the deeper I dug, the more I realized the immense hurdles, capital requirements, regulations, complex development processes. All of it started chipping away at my entrepreneurial spirit. While I sat there with my hands in my head, frustrated, thinking, there's got to be a better way to help people, make an impact, and build wealth. Just like that, a light bulb moment going off, and it hit me. Building something from scratch wasn't the only way to create impact or wealth. Maybe, just maybe, there was another way. That's when I discovered acquisitions. I had this idea of building something on something that already exists, improving it, growing it. It just clicked. I realized this could be my vehicle to grow wealth, to give back to the community, to support wildlife causes that I appreciate, help the local economy, and build my bank account. All while I can still be a builder, a creator, a visionary, and a hard worker. Something I could finally be proud of. The moment I realized this, it was like a new world opened up to me. Big bang of my life. I knew this was my path, and from that moment there was no looking back. As my parents always told me, you'll just know when you know. Once I discovered acquisitions, I just became obsessed. I needed to understand everything, and I still do. How does it work? Who does this kind of thing? What skills do I already have that I can use? And what do I need to learn? So I just dug in. Over the last year, I've listened to podcasts about acquisitions and business growth. I read books on due diligence, negotiation, financing strategies. I followed successful people who've walked this path before, and every day I added to my understanding. I'm not just learning about buying businesses. I'm learning about myself. Can I do this? Do I have the grit and curiosity to figure this out? The answer for me has been yep. If you're starting out in acquisitions or on any big journey, here's my advice based on what I've learned so far in my life and on my research. Number 1, curiosity is key. This might not apply to everyone as a driving force, but I believe it is important. Every day, I learn something new, whether it's reading a book, listening to a podcast, researching online, or asking someone's opinion. I make sure curiosity drives my progress. For example, I recently learned a new due diligence tactic by diving into a podcast episode, and it's now a tool I plan to use in future deals. If that got you curious about what tool that might be, listen on, and in future episodes, I will dive more into the sexy world of due diligence. Alrighty. Number 2. Show up even on hard days. We all have those days. Some days I don't feel motivated. Maybe our mental state isn't great, or life feels overwhelming. But even then, I'll make sure I do something. Read a page of a book, listen to a short podcast, or tick off one of those tasks from my to-do list that has been there for a week. It's like going to the gym. Even if it's a light workout, it's better than nothing. Progress every day adds up. Number 3. Stay motivated by imagining the outcome. I don't have a lot of people around me who are interested in acquisitions or share my vision. So, I keep myself motivated by focusing on the possibilities, financial freedom that I crave, the purpose that I desire, and escaping the 7-to-3 tradie life. The thought of staying stuck in a linear income stream without meaning or drive scares me more than the challenges that are before me when it comes to acquisitions. So, if you're like me, ask yourself, what motivates you? And how are you going to keep yourself motivated? Take it one problem at a time. Acquisitions, like a lot of things, can feel overwhelming. If you try to tackle everything at once, it's never going to work. So, one thing at a time, one problem at a time, and you will get there. Chip away at it. That's why I use lists to break tasks down. For example, when I started researching Australian laws around acquisitions, I focused only on that for a few days, or even for the first week. Once I understood it, I moved on to another area. Lists keep me organized and stop me from feeling like I'm drowning. What helps you? Feel free to let me know, or use my tools. So that's how I found acquisitions and why I'm passionate about this path. It's not easy, but so far it's rewarding. It has taught me new skills, it has introduced me to new people, and it has made me more confident. So I'm very curious to know what's in store in the future. And if you're just starting out, remember, curiosity, persistence, and breaking things down into manageable steps will take you further, probably further than you ever thought. In the next episode, we'll explore what makes a Main Street business so valuable and why it's the perfect starting point for acquisitions. Thank you for tuning in to Qrius Thoughts. Keep asking questions, stay motivated, and most of all, stay curious. Until next time.